I got a hot water bottle, but nothing I got will take the place of you. Holding me tight, I got Stevie, I got Stevie, I got Stevie, but I need your love to keep away the cold. They told me to shower more coal in the boiler. They told me to shower more coal in the boiler. They told me to shower more coal in the boiler, but that don't do no good. They told me to pour some more oil in the burner. They told me to pour some more oil in the burner. They told me to pour some more oil in the burner, but that don't do no good. Coal in the boiler,
No good,
oil in the burner,
no good.
coal, oil.
I got steam,
I got steam,
yeah. 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 I got steam,
I got steam,
yeah. I got steam,
yeah. I got steam.
yeah. I got steam.
Go! Boing, boing! Boing, boing! The radiator's hissing, still I need your kissing to keep me from freezing each night. I got a hot water bottle, but nothing I gotta take the place of you. Holding me tight, I got Steve, Stevie, I got Steve, Stevie, I got Steve, Stevie, but I need your love to keep away the cold.
Daddy always thought that he married beneath him. That's what he said, that's what he said. When he proposed, he informed my mother he was probably her very last chance. And though she was 22, though she was 22, though she was 22, she married him. Life with my dad wasn't ever a picnic, more like a come as you are. When I was 5, I remember my mother dug earrings out of the car. I knew that they weren't hers, but it wasn't something you'd want to discuss. He wasn't warm. Well, not to her. Well, not to us. But everything was beautiful at the ballet. Graceful men lift lovely girls in white. Yes, everything was beautiful at the ballet. Hey, I was happy at the ballet. Up a steep and very narrow stairway to the voice like a metronome. Up a steep and very narrow stairway. It wasn't paradise, it wasn't paradise, it wasn't paradise, but it was home.
Mother always said I'd be very attractive when I grew up. Different, she said, with a special feeling and a Different is nice, but it sure isn't pretty. Pretty is what it's about. I never thought anyone was different. Who couldn't figure that out? So beautiful, I'd never live to see. But it was clear, if not to her, well then to me, that everyone is beautiful at the ballet. Every prince has got to have his swan. Yes, everyone is beautiful at the ballet. Hey, I was pretty at the ballet.
Up a steep and very narrow stairway to the voice like a metronome. Up a steep and very narrow stairway. It wasn't paradise.
It wasn't paradise.
It wasn't paradise. But it was home.
I don't know what they were for or against, really, except each other. I mean, I was born to save their marriage. But when my father came to pick my mother up from the hospital, he said, well, I thought this was going to help. But I guess it's not. Anyway, I did have a fantastic fantasy life. I used to dance around the living room with my arms up like this. My fantasy was that I was an Indian chief. And he'd say to me, Maggie, do you want to dance? And I'd say, Daddy, I would love to dance. But everything was beautiful at the ballet. Raise your arms and someone's always there. Yes, everything was beautiful at the ballet.
I was pretty.
I was happy
I would love to
at the ballet. To our souls on a highway life, ain't either got a sister or brother. Ain't it just great? Ain't it just grand? We got each other. Two lost ships on a stormy sea, one with no sail and one with no rudder. Ain't it just great? Ain't it just grand? We got each other. Two old sheep in the wild of the hills, far on the other Jacks and Jills. We wandered away and went astray, but we ain't fussing 'cause we got us and we're two lost souls on highway life, and there is no one with whom we would rather. Ain't it just great? Ain't it just grand? We got each other. Wherever we go, whatever we do, as long as you got me and I got you, we got a lot because we got each other. We got a lot because we got each other.
Early in the 1970s, two talented composers indelibly changed the face of Broadway forever. Even though they came from different parts of the world and wrote with totally different styles, each in his own way broke new ground in the history of musical theater. Where would Broadway be without the music of Stephen Sondheim and Andrew Lloyd Webber.
We'll be so glad to see you. Polly, come on over for dinner. Just be the three of us, only the three of us.
Drinks or chimes in comes company.
First drinks, good times, just chums company. Late nights, good times, party games, phone walks, telephone calls. Lunch and souls and party paints, all those photos up on the walls. With love, filling the days. With love, 70 ways. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? That's what it's really about. I got company, lots of company. Years of company, love is company, life is company.
Every time I look at you, I don't understand why you let the things you did get so out of hand. You'd have managed better if you had it planned. Now why'd you choose such a backward time in such a strange land? If you'd come today, you would have reached the whole nation. Israel before BC had no mass communication. Don't you get me wrong. 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 Only wanna know. Only wanna know. Only wanna know. I only wanna know.
Jesus Christ, who are you, what have you sacrificed? Jesus Christ, who are you, what have you Each sensation, darkness stirs and crazy imagination. Turn your face away from the garish light of day. Turn your thoughts away from cold unfeeling night, and listen to the music of the night. The night.
Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Me here is lost on the ground, you in mid-air. Send in the clouds. Don't you love false? My fault I fear.
Brother, what a surprise.
Brother, how good to see you.
What brings you to the woods today?
I'm investigating news of a giant.
You investigating news of a giant? Why, Father wouldn't even do that. That's business for a steward or less.
Well, what brings you to the wood?
My Rapunzel has run off.
Run off!
She's a changed woman, taken to hysterical fits of crying, moods no soul could predict. I know not what to do.
A pity.
And what of Cinderella?
Oh, she remains well.
Indeed. Do tell me, brother, what really brings you to the woods?
High in a tower like yours was but higher, a beauty asleep. All round the tower a thicket of briar, 100 feet deep. Agony, no frustration more keen, when the one thing you want is a thing that you've not even seen.
I found a casket entirely of glass. No, it's unbreakable. Inside, don't ask it, a maiden, alas, just as unwakeable. What unmistakable agony is the way always barred. She has skin white as snow.
Did you learn her name?
No, there's a dwarf standing guard.
Agony, such that princes must weep. Always enthralled most to anything, almost as something asleep. If it were not for the thicket.
A thicket's no trick, is it thick?
It's the thickest.
The quickest is pick it apart with a stick.
Yes, but even one prick, it's my thing about blood.
Well, it's sick.
It's no sicker than your thing with dwarfs.
Dwarfs?
Dwarfs!
Dwarfs are very upsetting. Not forgetting the mass unachievable, mountains unscalable, if it's conceivable, but unavailable. Agony, misery, woe not to know what you miss,
As they lie there for years,
while you cry on their biers.
what unbearable bliss. Agony that can cut like a knife. Ah, well, back to my wife.
It won't be easy, you'll think it's strange when I try to explain how I feel, that I still need your love after all that I've done. You won't believe me, all you'll see is a girl you once knew, although she's dressed up to the nines, at 6s and 7s with you. I had to let it happen, I had to change. Couldn't stay all my life down at heel, looking out of the window, staying out of the sun. So I chose freedom, running around, trying everything new, but nothing impressed me at all. I never expected it to. Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is I never days, my mad existence. I kept my promise, don't keep your distance. And as for fortune, and as for fame, I never invited them in, though it seemed to the world they were all I desired. They are illusions, they're not the solutions they promised to be. The answer was here all the time. I love you and hope you love me. Don't cry for me in Argentina. The truth is I never left you. All through my wild days, my mad existence, I kept my promise, don't keep your distance. Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is I never left you. All through my wild days, my mad existence, I kept my promise, don't keep your distance. Have I said too much? There's nothing more I can think of to say to you. All you have to do is look at me to know that every word is true.
Do you remember those good days in Canaan? The summers were endlessly gold. The fields were a patchwork of clover. The winters were never too cold. We strolled down the boulevard together, and everything around us was far. Now the fields are dead and bare, no joie de vivre anywhere. Et maintenant we drink a bitter wine. Those Canaan days we used to know, where have they gone? Where did they go? Eh bien, raise your bodies to those Canaan days. Do you remember those wonderful parties? The splendor of Canaan's cuisine, our extravagant, elegant soirees, the gayest the Bible has seen. It's funny, but since we lost Joseph, we've gone to the other extreme. No one comes for dinner now, we'd only eat them anyhow. I even find I'm missing Joseph's Street. Those Canaan days we used to know, where have they gone? Where did they go? Eh bien, raise your valleys to those Canaan days. It's funny, but since we lost Joseph, we've gone to the other extreme. Perhaps we all misjudged the lad. Perhaps he wasn't quite so bad. And how we miss his entertaining dreams. Those faded days we used to know, where have they gone? Where they go. And yeah, raise your parades to those gay days. Prepare ye the way of the Lord. Prepare ye the way of the Lord. Prepare ye the way of the Lord. Prepare ye the way of the Lord.
The people sing the songs of angry men. It is the music of the people who will not be slaves again. When the beating of your horn echoes the beating of the drums, there is a life about to start when tomorrow comes.
Today, musical theater continues to thrive all over the world with exciting new works and novel recreations of the classics. Yet 42nd Street remains the heart and home of the Broadway musical.
Do you hear the people sing the songs of angry men? It is the music of the people who will not be slaves again. When the beating of your heart echoes the beating of the drums, there is a life about to start when
I tell the tale of Sweeney Todd.
His skin was pale and his eye was odd. He shaved the faces of gentlemen who never thereafter were heard from again. He trod the path that few had trod, did Sweeney Todd. The demon barber of Fleet Street.
He kept a shop in London town.
kept a shop in London town.
Fancy clients and good renown.
Fancy clients and good renown.
What a million souls were saved.
They went to their maker impeccably shaved. By Sweeney Todd, the demon barber of Fleet Street.
I'm just a Broadway baby, walking off my tired feet, pounded 42nd Street to be in a show. Someday maybe, if I stick it long enough, I can get to strut my stuff. Working for a nice man, I can sing, feel for a wise man in a big time Broadway show.
And is it more now? What do you know?
600 minutes, 525,000 moments so dear, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? In daylights, in sunsets, in midnights, in cups of coffee, in inches, in miles, in laughter and strife. In 525,600 minutes, how do you measure a year in life? How about love? How about love? How about love? Measuring love. Seasons of love. Seasons of love. 525,600 minutes. 525,000 journeys to land. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure the life of a woman or a man? In truth that she learned, in times that she cried, in bridge as he burned, in the way that she died. It's hard to say, it's hard, it never ends. Let's celebrate, remember a year in the life of a friend. Remember the love. Remember the love. Remember the love. Measuring love. Seasons of love. Seasons of love. Seasons of love. 525,600 minutes. Seasons of love. 525,000 moments so dear. 525,600 minutes. Seasons of love. How do you measure a year? In daylights, in sunsets, in midnights, in cups of coffee, in inches, in miles, and laughter and strife. In 525,600 minutes, do you measure a year in life? Measure out love. Remember the love. Remember the love. Measuring
My dearest darlingest Mopsy and Popsicle.
My dear father.
There's been some confusion over roaming here at Shiz.
Of course I'll care for Nessa.
But of course, I'll rise above it. For I know that's how you'd want me to respond. Yes. There's been some confusion, for you see, my roommate is unusually and exceedingly peculiar and altogether quite impossible to describe.
Blonde.
What is this feeling so sudden and new?
I felt the moment I laid eyes on you.
My pulse is rushing.
My head is reeling.
My face is flushing. What is this feeling? Fervent as a flame. Does it have a name? Yes. Loathing. Unadulterated loathing. For your face,
Your voice.
your clothing. Let's just say, I loathe it all. Every little trait, however small, makes my very flesh begin to crawl with simple total utter loathing. There's a strange exhilaration in such total detestation. It's so pure, so strong. Though I do admit it came on fast, still I do believe that it can last. And I will be loathing, loathing you my whole life. What is this feeling so sudden and new? I felt the moment I laid eyes on you. My pulse is rushing, my head is reeling. Oh, what is this feeling? Trade, however small, does it have everything? Yes, loathing. There's a strange exhilaration in such total detestation. It's so pure, so strong. Though I do admit it came on fast, still I do believe that it can last. And I will be loathing more forever, loathing truly, deeply, loathing you my whole life long.
I who am nothing, I who am no one, adore you and want you so. I'm just a no one with nothing to give you but oh, I love you. He buys you diamonds, bright, sparkling diamonds. But believe me, dear, when I say that he could give you the world, but he'll never love you the way I love you. He can take you any place he wants. dare not go. Lure and chase from afar, to Troy when your arms are too weary to reach the unreachable shore. This is my quest to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know it would only be true to this glorious quest, that my whole life will when I lay to my will be better for this, that one man sworn and covered with stars, till strong with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable star.
The costumes, the scenery, the makeup, the props, the audience that lifts you when you're down.
The headaches, the heartaches, the backaches, the flops, the sheriff that escorts you out of town.
The opening when your heart beats like a drum.
The closing when the customers won't come.
Give my regards to Broadway. Remember me to Harold's Fair. Tell all the gang at 42nd Street that I will soon be there.
Thank you.